I have posted this before on another thread, but I don't know what to do. Please give me some advice and help. I would greatly appreciate it. In 2018 I deployed and my wife and I were having problems. We had gotten married earlier that year and she was threatening to divorce me 2 months after being married and did it well over 10 times throughout the deployment. It hugely bothered me and I would beg for her to forgive me for whatever argument and just do what she wanted. I am not perfect and do not think I am better than her, but she did several things like this. Let me explain. First, we dated in high school and dated for a while and I did cheat on her. We broke up and months later realized what a huge mistake I made and broke up with the girl and we got back together. We were on and off for years and eventually got married after I joined the Marines. In 2018, she went out with her friends to a drag club, so she said, and sent me photos before she left of her and her friend. She was wearing a very sexy outfit, tight, dark skirt and a revealing top and a choker. She looked amazing, but immediately it bothered me because she never wore this for me or around me. Upon further investigation of this photo and a couple others, I saw she had taken her wedding ring off. That was a huge red flag, but she gaffed it off as being mad at me because I was mean and us fighting. I gave her all my passwords and usernames. She could have full access to anything because it doesn't bother me. She would be reluctant to give me hers though, but after a while she would give it to me, but it wouldn't work for me and she would just say weird. It works for me. In September 2018 we were still having issues. This one was the worst. One evening she accidentally sent me her location over iMessage and said, "Ike, why I sent that lol," and I had that bad gut feeling, you know. I looked up the location on Google Earth and the roads and area looked familiar around where we lived, and I soon found out that this was her ex-boyfriend's house. I was crushed and furious. I blew her phone up demanding to get on FaceTime so I could see where she was at. She sent texts saying she has bad service. And after about 20 minutes she FaceTimed and she was driving down a road Ike where I was yelling and she said she was at her friend's and had bad service, etc. Started crying and I was just lost. I should have made her stop to see what road she was on, but she was telling me she was at her friend's house. She claimed that she wasn't at Levi's and doesn't know why it sent that location. She said that it must have been her old iPad she left at his house. I talked to people online about the situation anonymously and they said there is no way the location could have came from another device. I don't know what to believe, and to this day it haunts me and keeps me up. The thought, really getting into the fine detail of what would have or did take place in the process of going over to his house. The thought of them having sex drives me insane. I can be fine and think about this, I'll be depressed and furious. After getting home from deployment she and I stayed with another couple I served with. I was going through her phone one night and saw she still had her ex's Instagram connected to her Instagram. I was upset and went to bed after 0100. I had to get up and go PT and I refused to talk to her and it was eating her alive why I wouldn't talk to her. She really wanted to know what was going on. So after we left PT and got back to the house she wouldn't leave me alone about it, so I told her and she was like, "Oh. I knew it would be that. Here, let me show you," and showed me that it had been like that for forever since they dated and that she was never able to take it off and showed me she couldn't. Also I saw on her Snap camera roll, days before we started dating again in 2017 she was hanging out with her ex. It has since been deleted for I couldn't find it later. As well as all the photos/screenshots of conversations and horrible things she said and the location she sent me, etc. were deleted, and she said she deleted them and smirked about it. She has said that her ex-boyfriend from back in middle school has given her the most hickeys on her boobs and that I hadn't when we were just talking. This isn't cheating, but why she would say something like that to me. TLDR, my wife possibly cheated on me while I was deployed and what to do, and I'm not even 100% sure she did. Please help me, I don't know what to do. She also went to a party at her friend's house and her other ex was there as well. I'm lost here. We have a son together and he is perfect and I love them both so much, but I still have bad days where I think of all this, and right now I have to put it all out and hope for some feedback and advice. Updates. First, everyone that commented and gave advice and shared their own relatable stories and past, you all have greatly helped me and I appreciate every single one of you. So after looking at all the comments and thinking about this for the past couple of days, I went online and talked to an Apple support employee about whether or not it is ever possible that you could send your current location of your iPhone and it send a location from somewhere else or off of another device. This was one of her reasonings for the location being at her ex's house. She said she left her old iPad there and it was still signed into her iCloud/Apple ID. The employee was very thorough and kind and assured me that is not true. After learning this, I realized how easy it was to get that confirmation, and it has been over 2 years and I never once got online to find out the truth like I just did. I guess I have just been taking the easiest route and pushing it down and suppressing the emotions I have felt. Just denying it, to put it plainly. Now I am asking for your all's help again, if you all would be kind enough to do so once again. I have proof that she was at her ex's house, but how do I find out that she actually cheated? Proof? How can I get her to admit it to me? I have asked her about this several times before and she always denies it and won't sway. She says she wasn't there and Ike, what else you want me to say? I told this woman that I would never divorce her, and I meant that because I really do love her, but I just want to be sure if I ever got to that point that it is for the right reasons. She is back home for another week or two while I'm at base working. She has our son and she's spending time with family and friends. Should I write out a message that explains everything and says what I want to hear and the truth I want? Or wait till she gets back? Just leave it alone until we can talk alone? TL, DR update to wife possibly cheating on me while deployed. Advice on how I should proceed. Update, she just admitted to being there, but she said she was just picking up her iPad that she left there in a bag of clothes. The iPad that she said later was probably where the location was coming from.